Welcome back to Tennessee This Week. Joining us now for the final word this afternoon is Mickey Maloney, Director of Special Events for the City of Knoxville, and Marion Kozar, former employee of the 1982 World's Fair, and who is working with the city and its plans for the 25th anniversary celebration of the fair. And ladies, thanks for joining us.
Happy to be here.
Actually, Mickey, let me ask you now. We had the mayor came out the other day and said, all right, on the 4th of July, we're going to throw a party celebrating America's birthday and the 25th anniversary of the fair. How exciting is it going to be?
Oh, it has the potential to be just absolutely wonderful, because what we have found in just initiating the fact that we were going to do it is the emotional attachment that people have for the World's Fair. And since we announced in the paper, you cannot believe the number of calls that we have gotten from a young lady from Memphis. She was ready to pack her bags and come to Knoxville. It's amazing. So it's going to be a big thing.
There is an emotional attachment, I think, for any of us who were there, and I was there for almost every day of that 6-month period. You as well, Marion.
Right.
You're now involved in helping these folks out. Why did you decide you wanted to do that?
Well, I think once you've been involved with the fair, you never get over it. You know, it was definitely the experience of a lifetime, and I know that's, you know, what they said, and it's really true, because it was just an incredible experience.
Tell our viewers a little bit about what you did during the fair.
Well, I started out as a volunteer speaker, giving slide presentations around town and out of town if we had requests. And then I was hired hourly to coordinate the Speakers Bureau. And the Speakers Bureau had about 35 members that you scheduled for anyone that called in and asked, you know, for a speaker. And they, again, you know, went around town and outside of Knoxville, and actually we went out of state. But mainly that would be the staff, you know, because they would be a little bit more technical questions. The slide presentation just would keep you up to date, what's been done, what's going to be done. And I personally credit that Speakers Bureau for as much of the success of the fair as anything else that happened, because that's how they kept people informed.
And there were a lot of questions. I know covering the pre-fair, not only questions but controversy. So it was probably really healthy that you had a Speakers Bureau out there trying to answer a lot of the public's questions.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, there are many times we got some we couldn't answer, but you know, it was it was nice to at least, you know, keep them as informed as possible. And we also did site tours, and all of this went on for 2 straight years before the World's Fair. So I don't think I'm exaggerating that we were definitely had a great impact on the success of the people locally and in this region, you know, coming to the fair, because we started those site inspections when there was only a tent on the site. And of course we had site tour briefings, the staff and the Speakers Bureau weekly, as to you know, to keep up with what had happened and what was going to happen. And these site tours were wonderful exposure to the fair. I can remember doing busload after busload for AAA and anybody else that called and came to town. So.
Mickey, normally the 4th of July, the festivities start around 4 o'clock. I understand this was going to start earlier this year.
We are going to start at 2.
Okay.
That day.
And what's going to happen at 2 o'clock? Would people miss anything if they don't show exactly at 2? Or?
Well, we will have an opening ceremony,
okay.
Much bigger than what we normally do on July the 4th. And of course that will entail the flags from the different countries that came, the 22 countries that participated with us in the World's Fair. Then of course we will have the North Lawn with the WDVX stage that will have the Americana music. At 8 o'clock, of course, the symphony takes the stage on the South Lawn. The big thing that we're adding to the July 4th is the International Bazaar. And that's going to take place inside the KCEC building. And it will be vendors, entertainment, food, just a lot of things that normally don't take place during July 4th. But the July 4th celebration outside will remain just like it always has, just the World's Fair things thrown into it. We are so excited, like I say, that this has taken on a life of its own, and we're not having to go out there and search for people to come on board, you know, to help us. They're offering us things that, you know, we're just thoroughly excited about.
And the History Center, I understand, is also going to have a display of memorabilia.
Yes, they will have at the History Center through, I think, beginning in June and through September 29th, they will have an exhibit at the History Center. We will also have an exhibit at the World's Fair Park that day, a large exhibit.
Now, do you have any memorabilia left over from the World's Fair?
Oh, absolutely.
World's Fair beer?
Well, no, but I do have a little moonshine. Remember when they had the Folklife Festival and they actually made it on the site?
And
I have to admit, the Folklife Festival is one of my favorite areas because, and maybe it's because I'm from the area, but I mean, you could get good old Americana music playing, Red Rector and others. I remember them all being up there.
And that's part of what we are hoping to realize on the outside for that day with the Americana music.
All right, 30 seconds remaining. Marion, what's your favorite memory of the 1982 World's Fair?
Well, I think probably accomplishing those 2 years of, you know, getting the site prepared and speaking, was moving into the communications department, working with the national media and press. That was an experience that I could have never touched as a teacher. So, you know, that was wonderful. And of course, working with you guys.
Thank you for that. That'll be the final word. All right, Marion and Mickey, thanks for both of you. And we're going to have a great time on the 4th. I know we are.
Oh, definitely. Everybody come on down.
All right, if you missed part of the program, like to see it again, you can watch it on our website at TennesseeThisWeek.com. You could also give us your comments at the website, or you can write to us at 1306 Broadway 37917. That's our time. Hope we see you again here next week.
The views of guests and panelists of this program are their own and not necessarily those of WATE 6 or Young Broadcasting of Knoxville.